Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'll be showing you guys this beautiful Neumorphism website. You can say it's a dashboard as well or a single page landing page as well. Basically I'll show you it. I have followed the Neumorphism concepts in this website. I will create this using HTML and CSS. Basically when you hover over it, anything if you can see that basically the home page is the first one and it has even text. I'm a software developer and the social media icons all have Neumorphism effect in them. When I click on about, it will move to the move section. You can also move it by scrolling to it. Now my name is even text. You can change the font size here as well, but I just simply liked it. A software developer from USA who make responsive website, and subscribe to the channel as well. Subscribe and click that bell icon as well. Now let's move to what I do. Basically you can see I've added animation here as well. Now let's move to portfolio. I've added animation here as well, like that, and let's move to contact section. Now you can see how the contact section look like. Contact me section. Now there is also the footer which is created by the text, all rights reserved. Now this website also has one more feature, which is the dark mode. If I click on this, now the dark mode has activated, and you can see how the Neumorphism concepts are still there. And I've done this using HTML and CSS only. I've written, I think, 10 to 15 lines just for adding this dark mode in the JavaScript. Now let's move to again, I will show you the next section, what I do. You can see the animation again here. I'll move to the portfolio section. There's a delay in the animation. I've added the delay of 0.3 second, I guess. And a contact me as well, also a footer. Now I hope you like it. I will now start to code this from scratch, and subscribe to the channel, and let's start to make this website. Let's start off by making the header, and with giving it a class of header again. And after that, let's create a div of class. Basically give it a class of user, and I will add an image of taking from the image folder, which is me.20. I will show you how the image looks like, and give it an alternative of z1 text pic. Now let's create a heading 3 of z1 text. After creating a heading, I will write the paragraph of software engineer or software developer. Now you can see I already have all the images on my left side. Now taking the class of nav and a class of nav bar, creating an anchor tag with an href, and I will give it a home. Basically what this home will do is whenever we click on this home section, it will go to the home section. And I will change the link's name in a while, give it a contact, change the link to contact, so that whenever we click on home or contact or portfolio or whatever, they will go to that section. And we will be creating these sections of home, portfolio, contact, what I do, or services in a while. Basically giving all the anchors, basically creating all the anchors on my left sidebar, which I will be showing you on my left sidebar. Now I'm creating a div of class ID and giving it a menu button for the menu button. And now basically I will show you, I've already connected my font awesome. So you should connect your font awesome as well from fontawesome.com, and giving it a class of basically FABARS. It is a font awesome class. Giving a div of class, basically an ID of theme toggler to change the theme. Basically I will just write 10 to 15 lines of code, and that will help me to change the theme of the font from dark and light mode. You can see one is for the, if I change the size of the screen, and second is for the changing the theme. Now for the home section, I will create a section. You can see that I created 5 links: home, about, services, portfolio, and contact. So I'll be creating all these sections now. First one is the home. Now creating a div of class content inside home section and giving it a heading 3 of z1 text. Basically you can say that we are creating a page with every section. I'm a software developer is the paragraph. Now I'll be creating an anchor tag with an href of empty, giving it a class of button, and after that giving it contact me. You can give your email in the anchor tag as well if you are creating and want to publish this website. Now creating a div of class share. Inside the div of class share, creating another anchor of hash, and giving it a class of basically using another font awesome icon, which is FABFA GitHub for the GitHub icon. You can see I will be creating 5 icons, copy pasting it. Now I will just change the icons. The other one is CodePen, you can see, second one. Now changing the remaining as well. Third one will be LinkedIn, Dribbler, and Discord. Okay, one is not appearing. I think okay, Dribbler spelling has 3 B's. Now you can see all of my 5 icons. Now what I will be doing is I will creating my next section basically, which is about us section. You can see there are 5 sections in the start, home, about, what I do, portfolio, and contact. So basically I am creating the second section now, which is about section. Giving the class of about and ID of about, and creating an h1 of class heading. And inside the heading 1 I am creating a span. Span has an about, basically about me. Now in the about section I am first creating my entire HTML structure, and then I will be styling my HTML. Created a div of class content, and heading 3 of my name is, you can add your name here. Creating a paragraph. You can write about yourself here, a software developer from USA, you can say, and I make websites responsive. You can add whatever you want. Subscribe as well. Please subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon as well. Now creating an anchor or href, class of button, contact me. So you can see basically these are representing the sections. Now I will be creating a div of class row, and after that I'll be creating a div of class progress, basically for the progress bars, you can say. Now creating the heading 3 of web designer or web design, and I will give it a 90% basically for the progress bar, you can say, and creating a div of class bar 1 1. Basically I will be styling this in my CSS. You will know when I style this in my CSS. Now copy paste, changing it to graphic design or designer, and changing the percentage to 75. Copy this, paste it, change 1 to 2. Like this. Now doing almost the same thing and changing the graphic designer to UI UX design, and changing the percentage to 80. Now pasting it and changing it to 3. First row first column, first row second column, first row third column. What that means. Now copy paste it, change the first one to HTML, second one to CSS, and third one to JavaScript. Now you can also change the percentages, 95%, change 1 to 1 because it's second row first column, and second one is second row second column, and third one is second row third column, and change the percentages as well. Okay, now but we will be designing and showing these bars on the screen, or the progress bar on the screen, using my style.css. Now I am done with my second section as well. I am creating the services section now. Creating a section and a class of services, also giving it an ID of services. Now after creating the section, I am giving it a heading 1, basically, which I did, and giving it a class of heading. You can see I have given the class of heading 1 to all of my HTML sections. What I do, because I have put I do in the span because I need to change the color or use it somewhere else as well. Now creating a div of box container. Inside the div of box container, I will give it a div, and div will have a class of box, and giving it an I. Basically, what this I or class, you might be wondering what it is. You just simply using Font Awesome. You can download Font Awesome. You can see the code. This is just a simple Font Awesome icon. Now giving our web development. giving it a paragraph of I develop websites or web apps. You can basically give your own details here, HTML5, CSS and JavaScript. Now copy paste it, change the details, also the symbol. Now paint, I have written paintbrush, change web development to graphic design, changing the paragraph to I use my own tools to create and edit images. Now you can see I have gone my second box as well. Now creating the third box, again changing the icon, mobile, changing this to responsive design and changing the description a bit as well. I develop PC, mobile, responsive websites and games. Now you can see I am done with the third box as well. Basically every section will, you can say that every section is just like a different page. Now giving it a portfolio website and creating the portfolio section, now giving it a class of portfolio, also will give it a class of ID of portfolio as well. Now creating the heading one, which I did in every section after I created the section, and I gave all my heading one a class of heading, my portfolio, and give something in my span as well to change the color, and which I'll be playing around with it later on. Now creating another div of class box container. You might be wondering what I'm doing. You might be noticing one thing as well, that I am following a certain pattern. So if I code one thing, multiple things changes. Like the heading, basically, or the box container, I've used it above as well. I've used box as well, giving this box an image and a div of class content. And inside the div of class content, I will get Mac, OS, web, there, image. Okay, now that I'm getting my first image. Now basically copy paste it and just show my all. I will just simply show my all images. I will change the size of images in my style.css. Now basically changing the second image, change the Mac OS web to Win11 web. You can see there. Creating the third image, changing the Mac OS web to Red OS. Now I've got my third image as well. Doing the same for the fourth box as well. Changing the content as well to microcode editor. Fourth image. And doing that with my next box as well. Change the H3 heading again to keyboard hero. Now for my last box, I will change the color, picture, and edit the H3 to 3D solar system, like that. Now I've got all of my images, and I think I'm done with this section now. Now I will move to the contact section and the section of class home and give it an ID of contact. You can give it a class of contact as well, it's up to you. Now taking the heading one and giving it a heading, span, contact me, div align center, giving it an anchor, and give it a class of button as well. So because I will be giving certain values a certain class, or certain, you can say I give my certain classes a certain style. So I will give all my buttons, paragraph, images a certain style. Now just changing the anchor tags, dribble, now change this one to LinkedIn and change this one to Discord. Now I will move to my div of class credits created by basically a footer, you can say, the one text, and now I will all rights reserved, which every website has basically, or you can say it is a footer or anything, it's up to you, like that, which is at the bottom. Now I will add break line here for my footer. You can add these break lines so that all of these look in the center, like in the center. Now I will be styling my all of my HTML as I am done with my HTML. I'm basically giving it a root, and I'm creating basically three global variables, you can say, and I will be using these variables later on in my entire style.css. Give green, black, light color, changing to hash 777, creating the next one to background color, giving the background color to hash E6, E6, E6. As you might know that we are creating a Neumorphism website, or Neumorphism dashboard, you can say. So we will be creating a theme of Neumorphism for this, giving it a border of 0.1 rem, solid RGBA of 000 and 0.2. Now giving it a box shadow, basically creating these certain values or creating these certain variables which I will be using frequently in my entire project. So I'm declaring them once so that I just need to add their name, and I won't be able to do anything else. I'll just call these names and it will work fine. Giving it basically box shadow these colors. Now creating the last one, which is box shadow in set. Now again giving it values 0.4 rem, 0.4 rem, 1 rem, CCC inset. Now this time minus 0.4 rem, minus 0.4 rem and 1 rem, and color of inset. Now giving the everything, you can say root, font family of sans serif for my entire project, mapping and margin should be 0 for my entire project, and box sizing should be border box, outline should be none, and border should be none. Basically I'm giving predefined, you can say I'm giving predefined things to my entire project. Text declaration should be none, text transform should be capitalized, transition should be 0.2 second linear. Now you can see I've given certain values to my entire project. Now I will start styling. I will start with my HTML and give my HTML a font size of 62.5%. Give it an overflow of X of hidden. Scroll behavior should be smooth. For my HTML, now let's move to the body. Give the entire body or entire page a background color, which is a variable of background color. Give it a padding left of 30 rem, like this, for my entire project. What I'll be doing with this padding, I'll show you in a while, because I will be showing my sidebar on the left. Body active should be black, and light color should be white. Background color should be 222, and border should be 0.1 rem, solid RGBA of 000 and an opacity of 0.4. Now giving it a box shadow as well, 0.4 rem, 0.4 rem, 1 rem, and 111 hash color, and minus 0.4 rem, minus 0.4 rem, 1 rem, and then again another color. Doing the same thing with my box shadow, which I did in my root as well, which is inset, and doing almost the same thing here. 0.4 rem, 1 rem, and 111 inset. Minus 0.4 rem, minus 0.4 rem, 1 rem, and hash 333 inset. Now you will see we will start to see the differences in our HTML. Giving every section a min height, you can see that every section is on different. First section, second, third, fourth. Every section has a certain value or certain area in which they are should be shown. Giving a padding of 2 rem, and now taking all the buttons should look like. Give all the buttons a margin top of 1 rem. Display of inline block. Padding should be 1 rem, 3.5 rem. Border radius should be 0.5 rem. Font size should be 1.7 rem. Now you might remember that I am creating a Neumorphism website, so it should look like one, and I am styling it based on your Neumorphism style. Background should be none and give it a color of black. I have defined this black color. It is not the actual black color. I defined it in my root. Now creating the box shadow. Now you can see I am getting how my buttons are look like. How my buttons look like this. You will now start to see the differences of how good it will look like now. Taking the button and hover over it, giving it a box shadow of variable box shadow inset. Color of variable green. Now when we hover over it, you can see how good it's look like, and changes the color to greenish. Now taking all the heading, basically H1 has all the heading classes, giving the text line of center, font size of 5 rem, color should be variable of black. I am repeating this variable I already declared in root at the top. Text transform uppercase, padding bottom should be 2 rem like this. Now you can see about me, my portfolio, everything. All the headings are looking like this. Now I'll take the heading, and after in the heading you can see there are spam. So I will give it a color of green. Text transform should be uppercase like this. Now you can see how good it looks like. Now taking the header, basically most of them have header, giving it a position of fixed, top of 0, left of 0 as well. Z index should be 999. Background should be variable background color. Width should be 30 rem. Now you are going to see something very cool, you can say, giving it a border right of variable border. Height of 0, 100%. Padding of 2 rem. Text align center like this. Now I am going to show my sidebar. Taking the header, dot user image. Margin should be 1 rem and 0. Border should be 1 rem solid transparent. Border radius should be 50%. Height should be 18 rem. Width should be 18 rem as well. Basically the image inside the header. Box shadow, basically background color. Box, give it a color. Box shadow. Now you can see the image inside the circle. Now copy, paste, taking the heading 3, giving it a color of variable black. Font size should be 1.5 rem like this. Now again taking the paragraph, taking the color, giving it a variable of green. Font size should be 1.5 rem in the green color software developer. Taking the header and taking the nav bar class this time and giving it a padding top of 1 rem. Taking the header again, taking the nav bar and an anchor tag display of block. Margin of 1.5 rem and 0. Padding of 0.7 rem. Border radius should be 5 rem. Font size should be 2 rem. Box shadow should be variable of box shadow. Color should be variable of black like this. Now you can see how I will add the hover effect, but you can see it's totally looking like a Neumorphism website. I give it a hover effect, and after giving it a hover effect, I will give it a box shadow of variable. I already gave box shadow inset. Color should be variable green. After we hover over it like this, now it's totally following the Neumorphism and how good it looks like. You can use this sidebar in your other projects as well. Now taking the menu button and giving it a position of fixed. Basically, menu button is that three lines, that three horizontal lines. Top of 1.5 rem, left of 2 rem, z index of 1000. The three horizontal lines which I showed you with the basically with the theme changer, you can say, or the theme or using the icon which you change theme with. The icon with that theme changer is the menu button, and basically changing it. Giving it a color cursor of pointer. Whenever we move our cursor over it, it should be a pointer. Box shadow should be variable of box shadow, and text line should be center. Color should be variable of black, and background should be variable of background color. Display should be none. Now I've already given it a display of none, so you won't be able to see it. But when we will be use media queries and make it responsive, and we decrease the signs, only then we will be able to see the menu button. Now giving it a theme toggler. Theme toggler is basically where we will change the theme. And I'm almost giving the same items, and I will show you how the theme I get toggler will look like, which will be similar to the menu button. So it doesn't matter if I'm not showing you this, or you can comment the display none and see it by yourself as well. Now coding almost the theme toggler the same way which I did with the menu button. Giving it a font size of 2 rem. Cursor should be pointer. Now copy, paste, because I already told you I'm almost giving the same things to the menu button and theme toggler. So I'm just copying and pasting. And I'm not giving display none this time, so you will be able to see the theme toggler. Now you can see on the right there is a theme toggler. I will give it a hover effect now and give it a color of green. Color, green variable. Box shadow should be box shadow inset. You can see like that how good it looks like. It's neumorphism effect. Now taking the home, display of flex, flex direction, flex flow should be column, align item should be center, justify question content should be center. Now I am basically, what I am doing is I am now starting with my individual pages, you can say, or the individual sections. I am just started to design my individual sections now. Now taking the home and content and giving it a heading 3, color of variable black, line height 1.1, text transform should be uppercase, like that. You will add your name here or and change it based on whatever you want or according to your requirements, I can say. Changing the font size to 2 rem. Color should be variable of green. Padding bottom should be 0.5 rem, like this. Home share position should be relative. Top should be 10 rem. Border radius should be 0.5 rem. And box shadow should be variable of box shadow, like this. For my all social media icons, you can say, basically there are 5 icons. I'll just simply copy it, paste it, and I will take the anchor tags. Now I need to increase their height and size as well. Now give it a height of 1.5 rem and increasing the width of them as well to 5 rem. Line height should be 5 rem. Box shadow should be box shadow. Now you might be wondering where to use box shadow and where to use box shadow inset. Where you need to add the neumorphism effect, you will use box shadow inset. Other than that, you will use box shadow. Because whenever I hover, I use the hover property, I use box shadow inset. Now copy, paste, again doing the hover effect. Firstly, giving it a box shadow of variable box shadow inset. Now I am hovering over it. So you remember, whenever I hover it, I use the box shadow inset on to so that it's on the inner side, like this. Now you can see how good it looks like. Basically, it's looking like a premium website. Now taking the about row, display of flex, align item should be center, flex wrap should be wrap reverse, gap should be 2 RE, like this. Now I'm starting with my about section, so I'll take the box container. Basically, inside the box container, I will give it a flex of 140 REM, giving it a display of flex, gap of 1.5 REM, flex wrap should be wrap, copy and paste it. And now I am taking the box, inside the box container, giving it a flex of 140 or 18 REM. Text align should be center. Padding should be 2 REM. Border radius should be 0.5 REM. Basically, I have started the second section of my website. I am done with almost done with my first section, and now I am starting my second section and changing my second section of how second section will look like. Now for the heading 3, I will take the font size and give the font size of 5 REM and give it a color of black, line height 1.1. Now again taking the paragraphs, giving it a font size of 1.7 REM. Color should be variable of light color. Padding should be 0.5 REM at 0. Taking the about row again, contents this time, and flex should be 140 REM. I'll be show you how everything looks like. Copy it, paste it, and taking the heading 3. Font size should be 3.5 REM. Color should be variable of black. Line height should be 1.8. Now basically, let's save it, paste it. Heading 3 span, color of variable green. Now I will take the about row content P, font size of 1.7 REM, color should be variable of light color. Line height should be 1.8. I will show you the differences in the about section in a while. Padding 1.8 REM at 0. Now taking the about again, taking the row, the nth child 3, padding should be 2 REM, like that, basically how it changed. In the about section row, progress, you might remember that there were progress bar. So for the progress bar, I will give it a flex of 140 REM. I will changing the progress bar and giving the line to the progress bar, you can say, giving the color of variable black. Font weight should be normal. Font size should be 2 REM. Display should be flex. Align item should be center. Justify content should be center, space between, sorry. Now everything is like that. Now I need to add a progress bar here, right? So what I will do with the progress bar, I will take the bar. Bar has a box shadow of variable box shadow. Border radius of 5 REM. Height of 2 REM. Padding of 0.5 REM. Margin of 1 REM and 0. Like that. Now I've got all my bar, but I need to fill it, right? So I will have to fill it with certain values. I'll take the bar span and I give it a display of block. Height should be 100%. Background should be variable of green, so that it should have a greenish color, you can say. Border radius should be 5 rem. Now you can see all of these are filled, but I don't want them to be filled. For example, it's 90%, should be 90% filled. So I'll take then 1 span, giving it a width of 90%. Now you can see that it has 90%. I'll do the same thing with the rest of them, changing this 1 to 2 and the second one to 75%. Now the second one has 75%. Now I will do the same for the third, change the width to 80%, doing copy and paste it, basically 2 1 for the second row first column, and doing 2 2 and 2 3, and changing the width to 65%, 89% and 95%. Now you can see those values. Now you can I'll move to the next section, which is services section, and take the services box container box, give it a padding of 2 rem, it will give it a border radius of 0.5 rem. Box shadow should be variable of box shadow. Position should be relative. Z index should be 0. Overflow should be hidden. For my like this, what I do section. Now copy it, paste it, and take the I, which is the font awesome icon, giving it a font size of 4 rem, padding of 5 rem, padding bottom of 5 rem. Color should be white, taking the heading 3, giving it a font size of 2 rem, padding bottom should be 1 rem, color should have a variable of black, like that. Now taking the paragraph, I will add the little animation in this as well, giving it a font size of 1.4 rem, line height should be 1.8, color should have a variable of light color, like this. Now I will take the before. Now this is very important. You will see the difference in a while. Give it a position of absolute. Top should be 0, left should be 0 as well. Height should be 100%. Width should be 100% as well. Background should have a variable of green. And Z index should be -1. And clip path. What this clip path is, it will basically clip the circular path from 9 rem at 5%, 0%. You can change these values to and play around with it, and you will see the difference. And I also add the animation like this. Now I will copy it, paste it, and change it to hover whenever I hover over it. And I will change the color clip path to circle and 100%. Okay, it's not changing. Let me see, I will change it if it doesn't work. Let me change it to this one to greater than star and should have a color of white. It's not working. Let me see. Okay, add a class here of services and box container. Give it a display of grid, and grid column should be repeat at auto fit, and min max 2 7 rem and 1 fr, giving it a gap of 2 rem. Now you can see now how it looks like, but the hover effect still doesn't work. Let me see. Okay, it's clip path. If you move to clip path, okay, now it's working. You can see the animation. It's basically a professional animation, I'll be honest with you. And we are creating a professional website, as you know, Neumorphism professional website. Taking the portfolio, moving to the portfolio section. We are almost done with our website. I think we will be done in like 7 to 8 minutes. Display should be grid. Grid template column should be repeat auto. Fit, again doing the same thing, min max and 27 REM 1 FR. Gap should be 2 REM. And copy paste it, taking the boxes. Boxes will have a height of 25 REM and have a border radius of 0.5 REM. Overflow should be hidden. Box shadow should be variable of box shadow. Position should be relative. Border should be 1 REM solid, transparent. Like this. Now you can see how I have basically boxes, and inside the boxes there are sections. Now for the portfolio, copy it, paste it, taking the images, because images are not shown perfectly, so I will give it a height of 100% and a width of 100% as well, so they are properly shown, and give it object fit of cover. Now you can see that all the images are shown perfectly. Now giving it up, taking the content as well, but I will give the content using the animation. Give it a position of absolute. You might not be able to see the content now, but I will give it in a while. Left 0, top 0, width 100%, height 100%. Background color should have a variable of background color. Display should be grid. And place item should have a center. Transform should be scale 0. You might not see the difference because I have not given it animation yet, and the content is inside behind the picture, so I need to show it as well, right? So how will I show it? I will give it a hover effect to show the content behind those pictures. Give it a transform of scale 1 like this. Whenever I move the cursor you can see, but it's not looking that good. I will change it a bit, taking the heading 3 and giving it the heading 3 of font size of 2.5 REM to increase the font size so it might look better. Also change their color to variable of black. And the text transform should be uppercase. And text for transform, translate y minus 5 REM. Opacity should be 0. And transition delay should be 0.3 seconds. Now you will see the difference, right? Like this. But you are unable to see how it basically you are unable to see the letters or content. So whenever we hover over it and you want to see the heading 3, we will take transform, translate y 0 REM. Opacity should be 1. Now you will be able to see. You can see how the everything move down. Now I take the contact with a form, margin of 1 REM and auto. Max width should be 70 REM. Border radius should be 0.5 REM. You can add your portfolio basically if you are a website developer or you are a graphic designer, or if you Photoshop or anything like that, you will add your own photos here. You just don't need to copy these photos. So I won't be adding these photos in the description. You can add on your own photos here. You can use any photo. It will work on all the photos. Now give it a box. Moving to I have already moved to the contact section myself. Give it a padding. After that, we give it a width of 100%. Background should be none. Color should have a variable of black. Font size should be 1.6 REM. Text transform should be none. And a margin of 0.7 REM and 0. Giving it a box shadow variable. Background color. Border radius should be 0.5 REM, like this. You can see how good these looks like. Now taking the contact form text area. Main height of 20 REM. Resize of none. We are almost done, just need to add a couple of things and we will be good to go, you can say. We will be done with this website. We will also need to add the dark mode to it as well, but that will be not more than 10 to 15 lines. give it a box shadow of inset. Now moving to credits, basically this credit you can say the below part view. Taking a font size of 2 rem, text line should be center. For my footer you can say padding should be 2.5 rem, 1 rem. Margin top should be 1 rem. Border top should be variable of border. Color should be variable of black. Taking the credit span, giving it a color of variable green. So look how at the bottom how good it looks like. And I think we are almost done with my section. Whenever I click on home and other section, the other section changes. Now I will be moving to my changing the dark theme and how I can change my dark theme basically. I'll query selector menu button and also taking the header as well. Menu button is basically for the showing the menu if I reduce the size. Let header query selector header menu on click equal to creating an arrow function basically ES6 JavaScript if you are aware of it, menu class list dot toggle, and change it to F8 times, and header class list should toggle to active because basically if the light mode is on or the dark mode is on, only one is active. Now window on scroll, copy paste it, remove, because at a time only one can be active, not two. Now I'll just take the let theme toggler. We are almost done. Taking the document.query selector, taking the theme toggler and giving the theme toggler dot on click, creating an arrow function again. Theme toggler should class list dot toggle and give it a changing the basically giving it a font or some icon of if it's sun, if it is light one, light theme you can say, and theme toggler dot class list dot contains sun. If it contains sun, then document dot body dot class list dot add active, then it should be active. If it's not active, then what should happen? Document dot body dot class list dot remove active, because then it will be the dark mode. Now if you click on it, you can see the dark mode works, and I will show you how good it looks like. If I click on about, if I click on what I do, if I go to portfolio, everything changes color. And I think it's pretty much it. I hope you like the video. If you like it, subscribe to the channel. I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much.